Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2026. I caught up. Hey, hey-o, where's my air? Hey-o, hey-o. All right, how's everybody doing out there? Hope you're feeling good and made it through the debacle, as it were, of the holiday season. No, that's not really a debacle. It's actually, I enjoyed myself this holiday season. I had a nice, relaxing time overall and found it to be quite peaceful and enjoyable. So we're getting started. I'm just getting everything turned on and going. I see a little buffer in here in the beginning. I guess that's the way we got to start 2026 with a little bit of buffering. Don't be afraid. Don't remember buffering. Wasn't buffering a brand of for aspirin? Buffering. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, hey, welcome and hello. Thanks for being here. I am pete.palma. I am your user-friendly host. This, of course, is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. Remember, if you're not living your flow of quo, you're living someone else's, and that's a no-no right here on Operation Status Quo. We've been saying that for a long time. So don't forget to let me know what you're doing in the comments below to create your own flow of quo. I always have mini strokes while I'm doing the show, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So if my words trip over one another, it's just par for the course here on Operation Status Quo. But what are you doing to create your own flow of quo? Let me know in the comments below. One day, somebody will actually put something in the comments and let me know. Like, do you think I'm just saying it for the hell of it? I mean, what the hell are you doing? Aside from watching Operation Status Quo. Hey-o. All right, so I'm living my flow of quo today. I did a little dipsy doodle in the pool. I know it's January, but as a matter of fact, I got a friend of mine that I run into over at the pool sometimes, and he's hardcore like me, likes to do his swims no matter what time of the year it is. And he's prepared. He's got actually a little thermometer that he puts into the water to test the temperature. I'm never sure. And I was in there today when he came, and he broke out his thermometer, and he says, "How's it feel?" I go, it feels a lot nicer in the summer. But I mean, it was for being January, not for anything, right? It felt pretty good. So, he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I'm going to say like 67." And believe it or not, the water was 72 degrees, which really doesn't sound cold at all. But ironically enough, I guess when you're used to swimming in water that's 90 degrees, I guess 72 seems chilly. But for this time of year, a blessing. If you would like to swim, if you're someone like me that enjoys swimming and being in the water the way I do, then it is indeed a blessing. So hopefully something else, if it's not that, is a blessing for you, because that's what life's all about. And that's what we talk about here on Operation Status Quo, is about, creating our life. And then, things are blessings, but they're blessings because you're living within the flow of your quo, or the quo of your flow, or I don't know. You figure it out. I've been saying it for years. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just here because I love you. I'm a man of the people. Ding, 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 ding. Ayo. Ayo. All right. So, first show of 2026 here today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 8th of January in the good year of 2026. And today's program is entitled, What's in the Box? And we'll talk about what's in the box. What is in the box? What is the box? I don't even know. But I missed yesterday. For those of you that are used to me being on a Wednesday, I was not here, obviously, so wasn't able to make it yesterday. But I cannot do this to the good people of the world out there in good conscience, step away and not at least express some of my mania, madness. Is it autism? I really don't know what I'm stricken with. but it's a good place for me to purge, and hopefully for you to surge, right? I purge, you surge. Yeah, it's teamwork. Ayo again. Ayo. Thank you. I don't know what the. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you think I plan to do something like that? Right? I mean, that's what makes the show so wonderfully unique and possibly incredibly annoying as well. But that's for you to decide as the viewer/listener. However it works for you is fine. For me, either way, I'm here doing this. So I mean, that's going to be received one way or the other. I enjoy the high vibe energy of it personally, right? But I mean, who am I? I'm just one. I am like the show and the audience, quite honestly. Oh man! All right, so we moved into January, into 2026. It's January again. I hope everybody is well and getting through the winter, and now it's that time of year, that kind of doldrum period a little bit as we march towards spring. And ironically enough, spring comes in March. So as we march towards spring, everybody likes the springtime, but anyway, so I hope you guys had good times with your holidays and all that. But so as we move into 2026, I really entitled the show today "What's in the Box." I'm laughing at myself because I'm always thinking of movie lines, and if you remember, of course, in the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and what's his name, Morgan Freeman, when Kevin Spacey brings the box at the end, right? And and Brad Pitt's all like, "What's in the box?" Mary's got the guy. What's in the box? What's in the box? I don't want to spoil it for you in case you never saw the movie. Go back and watch. You can find out what was in the box. I tell you that it doesn't turn out too well, but otherwise, I still don't want to spoil the surprise. Even though the movie, how old's the movie now? Like, I guess good 20 years old. When was that movie, right? Is that the 90s that they did that movie? I don't even remember. I think it was. So yeah, and I'm just want to use today as we start fresh into the new year, as a reminder, it's what we do on Operation Status Quo. I say we're observing life, right? We're observers of life. We are the creators, essentially, too, of our life, and how important it is to be mindful of that and always try to keep a space of awareness. So, not everything's easy, of course, right? This is life. It's always going to be the ups and downs and such, but we have to always remember to have the awareness that we chose our existence in a sense, and what is going on is serving greater goods, or I like to think it's a greater good, but a greater purpose. Let's say that instead of saying greater good. The totality of it all is probably beyond our human understanding. Anyway, so you have to look at it all from that perspective. That there's higher forces at work that are creating what we're seeing and how things operate in the way that they do, and not to put so much pressure on ourselves. And I'm speaking from myself also because, I'm thinking how I just want to get into it, but January, just as the year starts, and just thinking of moving forward and stuff, and we're already seeing all this, chaos in the world, and I don't want to make anything political or anything because I don't believe in any of that stuff anyway, but I just, instead of saying I would like to say I don't understand why people put so much emphasis and such on events that are happening and look at everything so literally as it's being told to us, instead of reading between the lines and kind of seeing a bigger perspective. But I don't want to get on. I don't want to get on it that way in a sense, especially everything. I'm thinking about, by the way, planning a nice little trip to Venezuela. I'm going to take a little vacation. I hear it's nice there this time of year. Hey-o. Right, and that's what I'm just saying. You think about it, like when you think about a situation like that, and the way it's framed and everything, and the way it even looks in certain regards, it just seems like so preposterous. Like it's almost like funny to me in a sense of when you have like bigger countries like whatever, all the big countries, China, Russia, whatever, and you think about the big tough guys came in and took over little Venezuela, but that's not really the story. It's because you have to remember that all these little places in the world are really where all the stuff goes on, because that's what no one ever attacks the mainland of China either, right? Or any of these places. All the big countries, they have all their little proxies, and everything is kind of done in these other places where, unfortunately, they keep the world even more in disarray in those countries as far as like third world technologies and everything else. And then, the bigger pieces are using them for their maneuvers and whatever else. But aside from that, because this is not, again, political or anything, but I'm just saying, like, aside from that, you have to, again, look at it from the even bigger perspective of that what is really happening in the world is even a step above the individual countries. It's not like China's doing this and Russia's doing that, United States is doing this and Iran is doing that and Israel's doing this and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's like it's all there, just like the politicians and the quote unquote leaders of our world, people that we would look at as, like, say, Bill Gates or Elon Musk and these type of people, JP Morgan, and what I'm saying, the banks and everything, like how we look at all these entities in a sense. But the truth is that, they are just pieces, right? They're pieces within the pieces. Like, you got the countries, and then you got the leaders and the workings within, and they're all pieces within the pieces. It's like, right? Here we go again, long-winded as I normally am, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of hot air here to spew out. But we really have to not put so much pressure on ourselves as far as putting energy and time and belief into those structures and the way that they're presented to us. Because at the end of it all, there's something grander going on that we don't see all that level, right? It's almost like, you throw your trash away and the trash truck comes and then it goes to a landfill. Remember, I'm saying that you never see what goes on at the landfill or what all the trash is doing together. You don't know the big picture at the end. You just know that you took your bag out and dropped it in the bin and then the truck came and took it, right? I'm just saying, and like, but there's a whole nother world going on with that trash once it leaves your house. And I think using trash as an analogy is pretty good when we're talking about just our leaders in general. It's not against anyone because they're all the same. Heyo. That's one of the things I always have talked about for years of how people put so much energy into just hating our current president of the United States. And it's like, guys, it's like, forget about that. It's like, it's not him. He's just a reflection of he's just a reflection of stuff that people don't want to face about the reality of our world and how it operates, and the fact that we're all complicit in a sense because we're all participating in the system, right? It's like, people want to say they hate him, but you don't really hate him because we're all reflections of one another, and he is reflecting back what society really has become and what it is, and the power structures and how they operate. That's why I think it's all like a mind bleep anyway, right? There's no way all this stuff is happening the way that we see it and all that. But the show's not to be so heavy on that. Like, what's in the box is more about what's in your box. Hey, let me know in the comments what's in your box, right? But seriously, what's in your box? Because your box is the only box that you can control, and you have to be aware of what you're feeling and how. Like, I'll be honest too. Like, for the beginning of this month, I've been a little crunchy. I have to say, like, emotionally. I don't know why. Like, just feeling like, I don't want to say edgy, but in some regard, you doing things the way I've been doing and working on things, and I see a need for change in some of the aspects of how I'm working my projects and all, and then it makes me think this, it makes me think that, and then, sometimes I just feel like, is it worth it? It's worth it for you. It's worth it for you, the good people out there. No, seriously, I'm just talking about whatever you're doing in your life. I just happen to be doing this nonsense, but whatever it is, it's like, just remembering to be, true to yourself and being open and being, honest with what's really coming through, and not putting, again, just to say I'm saying not putting pressure on yourself to be engulfed in the mainstream narratives and such, and pressure on yourself or fear in your life of what's going to happen and how things are going to be based on what seems to be so much discombobulation. But the discombobulation is necessary for people to kind of get stirred up to look at things, to make decisions, to move in another way. Really, at the heart of it all, it's just because it's just a time for humanity to change what it was, the structures. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's not like we're losing anything by things changing so dramatically in the way that they are. It's just a matter of, being aware that it is doing that and showing itself in that way, because it's just a time for humanity to do things in a different way. And how that pans out is really up to all of us individually as we take stock on ourselves and realize who we are and what we're trying to do and working through our own emotions and issues. Then we add that to the collective, which creates the new, right? It all kind of works together, but it all starts with just like Michael. I think I did this one time before on the show. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. I'm sorry, I just cracked myself up. But and just like not being attached to what we see out in the world that that could bring us confusion or fear, is the same thing with ourselves, right? Our emotions get worked up at times, and there's a lot of transition of energies and such going on right now, and the cosmos is, it's just a lot of layers and levels. I always talk about the layers and the levels, right? There's so many levels, and I'm speaking on myself too. It's like not to get wrapped up. We're all human, so we're never going to be perfect, right? We're always going to have our, make our mistakes or things that we think we could have done better or all that type of stuff. But at the end of it is trying to always remember not to be attached to that. To that stuff, not to be attached to even the days that you think you can't go on anymore, or the days that you think, what am I doing? Or, whatever. You could be down in the dumps as much, really bad, but I still think it's important. And I work on this all the time. It's like, as a half bipolar, emotionally disabled, ADD person myself, I try to always be mindful of like, damn, like, I'm kind of in this, and I really think this too. When I feel that type of way, when I feel like I can't almost get my mind ahead of or out of, this like whatever kind of like sometimes like of a negative thought or just, feeling just like a heaviness sometimes. And, and I say to myself, like, I'm always I see past it. I realize that it is, and it doesn't define me, but it's of this moment, and not just of the moment of like something wrong with me, but again, the confluence of energies and frequencies and what's going on as far as all the dynamics of that, and not the Schumann resonance and the solar flares at the earth. I'm just saying, like, all these things play a part in how our bodies function, and not just on our our biochemistry level, but that, and then that affects our emotional level too, right? Because it's all intertwined. So it's just it's so easy, is what I'm trying to say. And as we're into this new year, and I think we're going to see a lot more changes. Just things have been moving fast, really. Through 2025 went like a blip, right? And you just see where we are, and we're already off to the races here in January with a lot of nonsense going on. So, and I just think as things progress and continue in that way, it's just more important for us to take space and to not judge ourselves, because it's like, again, it's easy to start getting into a mind pattern or a rut of some kind, and then that little negative self chatter starts to pick up, or doubt starts to starts to eat at the back of your brain, and like all these things. And really, there's nothing to doubt overall, right? Like, if you always can come at it from a space of realizing that, let's be real, this world isn't real. Our physicality is by design for a certain amount of time. So, and we realize that there's so much more, even though it's hard in the individual moments at times, if we can just hold on to that little teeny bit of space, right? Of remembering those type of things. And even when you're really down and mad, you could be cursing at the universe, right? But you're saying like, why, but you always say like, I know though, but I know, right? I mean, like, and you just gotta breathe with it, breathe with it, baby. You gotta breathe with it, baby. And you just kind of keep going with your flow. I know a lot of people in the conspiracy world don't like Tom Hanks anymore because, he's supposed to be like the biggest pedophile in the world. If he is or isn't, I really don't know. I hate to say it, but I really like Tom Hanks. I've always enjoyed his work. So I hope he's not, an achrome junkie, having sex with kids. But I mean, who knows, right? I mean, if you want to go down those roads, it may be, maybe he's just the face for it, right? Just like I said, everything's a show anyway. So maybe he's the face for it if that ever came out, to really reach a lot of people of that issue, because I mean it is a real issue. I mean what's really happening. That's another story. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go down that path, but it all ties back into everything we're seeing in this world too, with the human trafficking and the children and the achrome, and I mean it's a very deep thing. Epstein and the banks and I mean it's all intertwined. It's just like that's what I'm trying to say. When people get mad, I know I'm jumping around here again, but when people get mad over, Trump's a dictator and they compare him to Hitler and say all this stuff, and it's just, you guys, like, it's the same program. Like, it should have, when you sit there and say that and equate Trump to Hitler, it's almost like you should realize right there that it's all a show, right? Because it's like what you're saying is like it's the same game plan, and they just, over the course of number of generations, and they just reinstill it in different ways. Like back then it was just him in a smaller country. Now you got this in the United States, and they try to make these comparisons, and like the truth is it's just showing you that the power structure that is, however it works, it's like the story. It's like, oh, what year is this, or what facet of the circle are we in of this? And we use this plan, or we use this scene, I should almost say, this script goes for this time, this script goes for that time, and then they plug in different people. It was back then it was Hitler, today it's Trump. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. It's like, people get all on that, like he's a dictator, and taking over countries, and like they're looking at it on these like little surface levels, when it's like, it's not, there's something much bigger happening. Whatever it is, however, who's good, who's bad, I don't know, right? But I mean, at least we're thinking about it, that something's not right and things are happening. And I'm taking it back to saying, people just look at what happened. I'm just using Venezuela because it's the biggest example right now, right? Like, it's like, I mean, think about how crazy it sounds. We go in there, we take the guy, you say, we're going to run the country. I mean, right? I mean, like, it's just, if somebody else did that somewhere else, it would be all, I don't know. It's just a crazy thing to me in general, but it's deeper levels, because it does go back. And I don't mean to be too conspiratorial about, the human trafficking and the child trafficking and all that stuff, but I mean it's a whole real business unto itself, and it's like these high elite levels. So I mean, the only way to really get to the heart of that is by exposing everything else, and exposing these people, and then really exposing the fraud of our financial system and everything else. I mean, it's a lot to explain. If you've never heard any of this before, there's plenty of places you can go and get all the catch up on all the details. But at the end of the day, everything's tied in to one thing, and we shouldn't be giving our power away and our time away and our life force away to this projection that is trying to keep people divided. And I mean, I don't know how much, I'm sure there's, just like everything else, there's duality. So there's both sides. There's parts of it that are awakening humanity to things they never thought of. There's parts of it that are trying to, constrict humanity and keep them from thinking of things they never thought of it, and it's really up to each of us as individuals to, again, where we align ourselves and what frequencies we decide to hold and resonate with. And no good or bad, no right or wrong. This world isn't real. It's a playground. So everything's there for the taking, in a sense of where you want to be and where you want to get to. So I'd like to leave it today with saying, as we move into this new year, just I'd like to leave it today by saying again, by reiterating, of remembering how powerful we all are individually, and I wish the best for everybody. I honestly do. Even the people that are disruptive, I would say disruptive in my life, or people I don't get along with, or things that happen between people and stuff, like, do I get mad or hurt or upset or whatever? I'm human, of course, but I try really hard not to take it over the top, personal. Something happens, it is what it is. I'm mad, maybe I vent about it, maybe, or I have to work through it emotionally because it triggered me, it bothered me, but at the end of the day, again, it's not that particular person or entity's or situation's fault, right? It's an opportunity for me to work through, and to really, all these opportunities come in our lives to give us the chance to, am I going to identify myself with this, and am I letting letting this situation, whatever it is, emotion of it, whatever traumas we've had in our lives that and things trigger and brings back, and am I going to let that define my opportunity for happiness in this moment, right? It's not easy. Again, it's not easy. I'm saying it for how hard I work at it on my own. I mean, to always try to, things go bad and you try to, but you stay positive and you just look, and other things come in your life and they're positive, and then they turn bad, ladies and gentlemen. Then they turn bad and you're screwed again. And we're back to the circle that I was talking about. Yeah. Hey, yo. So that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. It's a new year. Things will just keep going. So don't let yourself fall down into the cavern of misery as things seem to play out in certain ways, or whatever happens as the year goes on. Just remember to stay centered, stay in your space, and remember the power that you have, and just enjoy life for what it is. And could be here, even if could be here today, gone tomorrow. I mean, whatever happens, if the world blows up, if one of us, if we're all drop dead, I don't know, whatever happens. It's like at the end of it all, it's not, like, again, to say it's not real. I mean, it's real in a sense, but it's really not real. It's really more, there's a lot more going on, and we try to keep these little secure, safe lives in grabbing onto whatever we think we can hold on to in the midst of chaos. And I don't know, instead of doing that, why not let go of the fear and try to be powerful in your moments and just do, and don't worry about what it should look like or what it should be or what it, you know what I mean? Instead of all that trying to prove and keep up with others, and just be what you are and do it, and keep yourself stable. The more we work to keep ourselves stable as individuals and focused and in a higher space, it's contagious, right? And that's what we, if we project that's putting out into the universe. If that's what we seek to see in others and within ourselves first, but that's what we seek to see, we create it within ourselves, and then it reflects back to us by finding people in our lives that resonate more with what we're doing and how we're operating. So again, everything all works together. And I just like to, I guess the simplest thing, if I was going to just do this whole show in 2 minutes in the very beginning, I guess, would just be to not to take life so seriously, right? That's why always my basic message, like we do life is what it is, but we don't have to take it seriously, and we can, give ourselves space to enjoy the ride for what it is, and learn as much as we can to try to be our best selves in every moment. And when we fail at that, we just take a step back and we, regroup and we move forward and do it again with more resolution to continue, because every time you fall a little bit, it kind of has to makes you a little bit stronger, right? Makes you it's like, oh yeah, I'm starting to slip again. Nah. So that's what I have for you here today. Let me give you a little bit of this before I go. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. All right, it didn't end too well, but it sounded pretty good for a little bit. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me here today on Operation Status Quo. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. As you very well know, I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. Don't forget to check the website and all that stuff if you like. I'm out there, so you can find me. I'm here. Here I am. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Status Quo disengaged.
It's a boulevard of 10 short blocks.